Flores and Wiz. I said to you a while ago, Wiz, that I would do a tutorial for you about how to learn GIMP, which is a free image processing program available for free, and it's a great program, can do just about anything that Photoshop can do, except for the really advanced stuff like actions and things like that, batch processing, things like that it can't do. So this is the basic program. You've got your main window where you have your image, you've got your tool options, so you've got your toolbox, you've got your tool options. This varies with whatever tool you're using, you see, varies with text, whatever tool you're using. And over here you've got your layers, and in the layers you've got different things like you can have alpha channels and stuff like that, so to do transparencies, but you're probably not going to want to use that. And there's tutorials elsewhere if you want to do alpha channels, and the only reason you'd need alpha channels is if you want to make something transparent in a game, like leaves on a tree or something. So you load an image, so we'll just pick an image, say videos, titles, cool backgrounds. No, that's great. Alright, we'll use that. That's a cool background. Yeah, that's a cool background, we'll use that just as a basic. Move this over. I usually have this on a separate monitor because I've got two monitors. And so the first thing you want to do is, let's say we'll load another image. Let's say go to titles. Let's go to something transparent. GTA 5. There's GTA 5 logo. There we go. We'll go with that. So we've got that there. That's transparent. Now the way you make something transparent, I'm just going to move that in the other screen for a minute, is you go File, New. You can use a template if you want. I never use templates. You just go to Advanced Options and make sure that the background color is set to transparency. Nearly everything you do, you want transparent background, even if you're not working with transparency. If you've got it there, you can save it as a PNG and you can always go back to it. So you nearly always want that, unless you're going to use something like a green screen, then you don't do it. That's the only time I don't use transparent, is when I want to use a green screen with something for video editing. So you set your transparency, you set your size, your resolution, and click OK. Click OK, and that's what a transparent image looks like. And we get rid of that because we don't need it. So now if we go over to this, and we'll paste this into here. But before we do that, we want to go here and we want to add a new layer, because this is going to be the background. So we're going to go to layer, we're going to go new layer, and this is just basic stuff. So we just kind of call it logo. It's going to be transparent, same size as the thing. We bring up our image here, and we're going to select it all. Actually, let's do it this way. We're going to select it all, and then we're going to invert it, the selection, because when it selects it all, it doesn't actually select the thing, it selects the negative of it. So you've got to invert it so it picks up the whole thing. So then we copy it, go back to here, click on the logo, edit, paste into, and now it's there. Now the nice thing about it is with the tools over here, we can manipulate this while it's selected. You don't want to change this yet. This is called anchoring. You can do it, well you will anchor it, okay, so now I can just click on it. So if you accidentally anchor it, you can click on it, go to the magic tool, which is here, which is like a fuzzy select, and because this is a transparent background, you turn this one off, then you can just click it anywhere and it will select it. But remember, you have to invert it, so we'll invert it. So now we've got it, so now we can change its shape. This is a shear tool, this is a rotation tool, sorry, a shearing tool. What does this one do? Oh, this is a flipping tool, okay, and there's also a rotation tool that you can use to rotate. Undo that, but the one I use the most is the resize. So if I'm going to do a thumbnail or something, this is what I would do. I would take the logo, resize it to whatever I need, and make sure put it in whatever format I want. It doesn't really matter, you can make it anywhere you like, and it doesn't matter where it is. Then scale it, and then you click this one, which is Move Image, Move Tool, and you put it where you want it. That easy. And then once you've done that, you see you've got the floating selection up here. That means it's not anchored, so you go to Layers and you go Anchor. Now let's say you've got this and it's really cool and everything. We'll go back to Fuzzy Select, select it, and let's say you want a drop shadow on it. So you go to, this is where all your filters are. Go to Light and Shadow, Drop Shadow. Oh, it disappears, this thing. There it is there. And you can go, you could use that one, which is like this. Makes it look like that, but you can barely see it. So that's on the background. We don't want that. Undo. Because I had the background selected. But what we want to do is do a drop shadow on this. So we go light and arrow, drop shadow. Back here, you little shit. I usually go 13, 13, 21, whoops, not 15, 21, 21, and black. And let's put a drop shadow back here on the background. Again, for some reason I had the background selected. Oh, I know why. Because although I had this selected, I inverted it, and I shouldn't have inverted it. So now we'll do it again. We'll repeat the drop shadow. Now we get it right. So basically you've got, this is your menus. You've got File. Now when you save an image, you don't save, this is saving a project, okay? Save As is saving a project, and it will be an XCF file, which is a GIMP file basically, and you can load that anytime you like, and it will retain all the layer information. Usually when you wanted your final image and you want it all compressed down into a final image with no layers, normally what you do is you go to Export, and with Export you put in your title name, you go to Select File Type, and you go down and you pick, if you want to if you just want to use it a JPG, that's fine, but if you want to retain the transparency, then you have to choose PNG. Okay, this program used to recognize Photoshop, but it doesn't recognize Photoshop files anymore. Now if you want to use a brush, you've got a whole lot of brush tools over here. This is how you change the size of the brush, like there, like there's a big brush. Let's go on to, oh, with that there, that's it. This is the big brush. Get it! Give me the brush. Why is it working? This is, get rid of this. Let's go new. Get rid of that. Don't need it. Actually, I'm just going to make this black, because why not? Because it's so too bright. Okay. So let's go to a brush. We'll invert that, and we'll just use a normal brush like that, which is a nice soft brush. You can go into here and you can pick a hard brush, which is good. You can change the aspect ratio of the brush, which is like that. It's up to you, whichever you like. You can change the aspect ratio of this, which is that. You can change the angle of the brush, like that, whichever you want. You've got dynamics down here that you can use, like filters, whatever you want to use. The more you want to learn about them, the better. Now, some of the most useful things you might want to do, let me go get rid of this, and get rid of that, and let's load an image. Open. Come back! Videos. YouTube project. GTA. Movies. Wage Revenge. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Okay, so this is the thumbnail I used for the video I did under Rockstar Editor, Wage Revenge. So this is the layers. So you've got the background, which is a Rockstar background for them. I've added the text. So I've added the text, which you can see there. I've added some blood over here and down here. There. That's my name. There's some blood there, some blood there, and another blood there, and a blood splatter on the ground down here. Now the other thing you've got is you've got brushes over here that you can paint with. So you can I'll go over. So you can, damn it, give me the background. So you can paint these in, which is very useful. You can use these to do things. Let's say what you wanted to do is, okay, so let's say you've got the background here. You like it, but you want to change the color. So what you can do is you can go into, I'm going to change the size of this too. You go into normal, and you can go to color, and then you can pick what color you want. So let's say we pick, say, I don't know, we'll go green, just for something to do, something different. We'll pick this. And let's say you want to paint, let's just say the text. Let's just say we want to pick the text of Wage Revenge, this one. So if we just select that, then we can paint just the text. See? No problems. If I can change it to different things like dissolve. I will add a dissolve over it. I can change it to color erase. That'll erase the actual color and resaturate it. I can do it, lighten it. I can lighten it just by changing these different options. I can screen it. Whereas multiply it. What else? These all have different types of things. I can darken it. I can burn it, which is like burn and dodge. Now, some of the tools here, I'll explain some of the tools. You've got these selection tools. This is like a thing that you can just select areas, but you've got to close it off by going back to the loop to close it off. Select none. This is your magic wand. Magic wand is great for picking up a fill color like that. Okay, but it's really crap at picking up something like this color here. You watch, pick it up. Oh, that'll work. See, you picks up every little bit of it. If I go into here and try to pick up, it just gets bits and pieces all over the place. It's really not. It's only really good for solid color. You can use it for this, but it's really fiddly. There are better ways of doing it. Select, deselect, none. I'm not sure what this is. Oh, it's select color rule. Yeah, we can select color. See, that will select everything in that color. This is the brown color I selected because I had the background selected. Scissors tool. This is like crop. Sorry, don't know what that is. Foreground select tool is a path tool. This is used for drawing curves. So drawing a nice curve. I don't know how the path tool works. Don't ask me. I've never used it. It's a crack fucking. It's a really good tool. I just don't know how to use it. I don't use it. Pipette is used for picking up a color. So you'll see. Damn it. Go back to the background. See, whenever I move it over, it will change the color too. It's picking up the pixels directly underneath that tip. Magnify, well, that's obvious. It's zoom in and zoom out. The only thing that pisses me off about the magnify tool, I wish mouse 1 zoomed in and mouse right zoomed out, but it doesn't. And it's really fucking tricky. You've got to click down here to zoom out, and sometimes it will go all the way out. Sometimes it will just like that. See, now it's zoomed all the way out. Let's just click auto resize. It doesn't work. Okay, the other tools. This is a measuring tool you can use to sort of measure something and see how much it is. It tells you down the bottom left, down here. You'll see how the measurement. So if you want to get something precise, like how long is this window, it will tell you 104 pixels. This is move. This will pick up. It will take the background. It will pick it up and move it. Okay. Really useful tool. You use it all the time. You can pick up the text, his name, and you can move his name around. But you've got to be careful making sure that what you're picking up is what you really want to move. This is an alignment tool. I've never used it. It's used to align layers. This is a crop tool. I use this all the time. You click on the background, and if you just want to take Wade here and press enter, and you've just got him, which is really good for also, doing things that you want. This is the rotation tool. You can again pick his name and just rotate him as you want. Same with, I've showed you these already. Fonts. Let's go to a new background, new thing. Get rid of that. The fonts, because that's a bit confusing, that image. That'll do. That'll do. So we got a nice background here that we can use. I've got these off Google Images. So let's say you want to put some text onto it. So text is very simple. You just draw out the box you want. Now, because you've chosen the text, you get the tool options down here reflecting the tool you're using. So this is the text. So just type in ThaWizz. So there you go, you just got ThaWizz GIMP tutorial. You can center it down here and resize it to what you want. Go back down there. Oh yeah, this is the editing window. You can use this to edit it. I've got to change that. God damn it. Make it a capital. Close that, I don't use that. Yeah, so you select it, you choose your color. You've got to have it selected to make any changes, okay? Change the color to whatever you want. Let's make it that. Nice and bright. Let's make it a new font. Now, fonts, you can select fonts through here. If you know the name of the font, then this is the fastest way of doing it. Like, the font I usually use for my thumbnails is Oblix Pro. So if I just go O, and then I get the fonts that I use for my thumbnails, which is Oblix Pro, that. So you've probably seen that many times on my thumbnails. You resize it how you want it. You can resize it a lot. You can drop in an enter in there just like you wanted to if you wanted. You can, once you've got your fonts in there, you've got your indents. Move that down a bit. You've got your indents in here, so you can indent it the way you want, whichever way you like. Increase the thing, increase the gap between the letters. So now you've got it like that, so you can go in and you can again do a drop shadow on it, or actually I'll do something else instead of a drop shadow. Let's do a gradient on it. So let's go here and we'll go say green in the foreground and say yellow on the background, and go that, and we'll go to the gradient tool. So after the fonts we've got a fill. Before we'll go to the next thing. So one of the other things that you've got, we'll drop a new layer in. The bucket is a fill tool, so you drop that in. See, that's a fill. That's just all it does. It just fills the whole thing with that color. I'll get rid of that. So now we'll go back to this, and this is the gradient tool. Now you can choose a gradient type that you want through here. All the different types of gradients that you can use. So we go gradient. We just drag what you want. You can go like that. Undo that. We can go for a different one. How about something like abstract? Like that. How about something like I don't know. This one. Deep sea. Yeah. You can see how useful these things are. For me, what I would normally do is I would usually go back to the top, and I would usually do a gradient foreground to background, and I would just go down and do a foreground to background. That's for my thumbnails. Sometimes I do that. It depends on the thumbnail whether I do that or not. You can also do undo that. You can also do let's do it this way. Damn it. It'd be easy if I just do this. Okay, so it's make this fill black, foreground green. Okay, so now we go here and we just go radial. If I make it large, if I go all the way to the edge, you get the whole thing. So, and you can go foreground to background if you want it the other way around. See? Get rid of that. Okay, so what else? There's pencil tool, which you can use. Resize your brush, use a hard brush or a soft brush. There's a paintbrush, again, same thing, hard brush, soft brush, whichever you like. Rubber, airbrush tool, works the same as the paintbrush. There's an ink tool, I've never used it, don't ask me how I use it. Two of the most useful tools you'll get are, we're going to get rid of that. Delete that. We're going to delete that. We go back to this and deselect that. So let's say you're going to make an image, okay? And you want this image, but you want it to be rotated. See, you see how this image has been rotated? When you rotate an image, we want to scale this image. Let's say we just take the whole image and we just rotate it. We just rotate it like that, say, okay? Like he's done there. But now you're left with this, you see? So what you need to do is you need to fix that, and you fix that with the rubber stamp tool. So what you do is you pick what you want, you get a nice big brush, you pick what you want, no, that's too big. You pick what you want to copy, say stone, and just paint that down in there. Don't worry about if it looks crap, because you're going to make it better. Look, rubber stamp. And you want the water, so you've got to get that. Just rough, doesn't matter. We want the trees, don't have to worry about that. So over here we want some of this, some of that in there. Doesn't have to be accurate, okay? Because we're going to fix that. And we're going to get the sky. And we're going to get some of this. And, whoops, that's no good. It's got to line up at least. Yeah, that'll do. So now, I'm going to get this part too. And this part. So now what you look at, it looks crap down there. It looks okay, but it looks crap, really. So you take the Band-Aid tool. Okay, the Band-Aid tool will take something like this and will heal it. Nope, let's copy it. But what you want to do is you want to drop the opacity. That will make it easier. See, and you can take the river. Damn it, that's really laggy. And just drop the size down. You can take some of the shore, put that in there. Take some of the river. And this will fix it. Basically Band-Aid over it. Gradually you just pick up bits of it and you just dab, 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 and you'll fix it. Just move it down. And do the same over here. You can go this, some of that. Damn it. Stop it! Thanks for backing me around. So you hold down Control, and that's what you use to select. So you hold down Control and select, and then you mouse click 1. And it will follow wherever. If you click it here, like there, and you move down with mouse hit 1, you'll see it follows. And you take the Band-Aid, you do exactly the same thing, and you just fix the hole. Just click here, and you fix the hole. See? And you can see it does a really good job of fixing it. So you can, with a bit of time, you can really get this sorted out. But then there's here, this is a blur tool which you can use to obviously blur. And then you've got a smudge tool, which smudge tool is really useful with dropping this is opacity, so you can, like, you take a paintbrush and you just drop some paint on here. If you drop the opacity, go away. You drop the opacity down, you can just tint it. I do this with my thumbnail sometimes. Although I just put a layer, usually I'll just, if I'm going to use a tint, I'll just go to the layer and drop a tint in, and then I'll change the opacity to just a tint. Okay, so I'll get that, delete that. And the last one is smudge, so you can take it full opacity and just smudge it. So the next thing to do is look at the filters. So you've got your edit menu. In the edit menu there's one important thing. Well, apart from copying and pasting, there's a very important thing, which is when you select something like this, you draw a box. In the edit tool, there is the stroke selection. This is really important because you can use this for so many things. And it just draws a solid line or a pattern, whatever you like, and it will stroke the edges of that line. You can draw out circles, you can draw out nice little shapes like this, and then stroke it. Well, it's not completed. Yeah, complete. Come on, complete. There you go. Go away. And then and then you can stroke it. No, it didn't slow. Doesn't matter. Go away. Go away. I hate using that tool. And what else is there? In the select tool, you've got all the different selection things. You can select by color, and you can invert, you can distort. In views, you've got a lot of different things, rulers and stuff. You want to tick whatever I've got here ticked. In image, you can change modes from to grayscale and back with undo. Where am I? Image. You can do transforms like flip horizontally, rotate clockwise, guillotine. Layers, you've got a lot of layer information stuff you can do with layers. Layers are really important. Colors, color balance allows you to adjust the saturation that you want. You can adjust. One you will use is levels, where you can adjust the brightness, contrast, and shit like that. You can also do that in here, and just with sliders, you know, just adjust the brightness and contrast there. Tools, you've got a lot of tools in here, which are basically here, all of these tools here. Windows, dockable, there's dockable dialogues. All of these are other dialogues. These are called dialogues, these things here. These are other dialogues, things that you can pull out, like paint dynamics and palettes and tool presets and shit like that. I don't use them. The other one that you'll use most is effects. So you've got blur effects, Gaussian blurs, pixelize, and they will cause blurs. Bleh. It does a bleh. You've got enhancements that you can do, and despeckle, destripe, red eye removal. Sharp red eye removal is good if you've got to photograph somebody. You can just remove the red eye from the photo. Sharpen, you can unmask. Light and shadow, again, you can do drop shadows. You can do a supernova, which adds like lighting effects. You can do also in here. You can do lighting effects, like lens flares and shit like that. Don't ask me where. I don't use them in here. I use them in the editor. Noise, you can add noise to something. You can use this for making textures, RGB noise and shit like that. We'll just click on something. See what I mean? It's a bit like that. You can explore it. Edge detect. So this will go through the whole thing and just detect all the edges. Okay, you can see there's effects. There's reasons you can use this. Generic, which is like erode. I don't know what that does. It just erodes it. Then there's combine. You can do like a film strip. I don't know what this does. I've never used it. So don't ask me. So, oh, I see. You can make a film strip out of it. Oh, great, cool. I didn't know that. I might remember that. The one I use is artistic. You can cartoonify. I don't really like cartoonifies it, so that's okay. Create a lot of effects with this. Another one of the things that is really good is distortions. Distortions are a lot of fun. You can do blinds. You can put blinds on things. You can do. Go away! I'm going to do this quick, so we'll just get through it quickly. What else can you do? You can do engravements. Like that. Do a quick engrave, so that makes it look like me. Engraving, you can do embossing. Looks cool. Distorts. There are polar coordinates, which is always interesting. Which, if you really throw it off, you can offset angle, throw it really high. You can do that. Throw it back a bit, you get some interesting stuff. Slide this circle thing back and you get some more interesting effects. Like, you know, like this. There's a cool effect. Yeah, there's lots of things you can do. And then distorts, you can go to, you know, page curls. Shit like that. Gobs and gobs of stuff in distorts that you might want to do. Waves, you know, put waves all over it. And there's a myriad of wave types you can do. You can explore that. Artistic has got a lot of good stuff. Oilify it. You can make it look like a bit like an oil painting. So there's a lot of things that you can do Then there's decor, which is coffee stains, mapping things, paper tiles. You can do. I've never used any of this stuff. Animations. This is for making GIF files. You want to make GIFs. Then you can make alpha files. Then you can use scripts if you want to use Python scripts. I don't use them, so that's pretty much the thing. The tools that I use almost every day. I use the magic wand, pipette, zoom, cropping, the moving tool, all of these shearing tools, text, nearly all of these are tools. Now there's one other thing that you might want to know. How do you get something that is transparent? Let's say you want to make something that is, let's say you want to make this jet transparent. How do you do that? And it's very simple. You take an eraser and you erase everything except the jet. That's what you do. Let's just cut. I'm just going to do this roughly, okay? I'm not going to fuck about with it because don't have the time. We're just going to do it roughly. You got to get everything that every skerrick of paint that is left on this image. You've got to remove for it to work, and you've also got to use this brush rather than the fuzzy brush because that allows you to get right in along the wings. I went over the line. Doesn't matter. We're just going to get the cockpit. Oh, there we go. There's the wings. But you can see that you can, if you're a little bit of patience, you can get everything out. And I'll show you what this looks like. If I go into here, where is it? Where is it? Not backgrounds. Gotta find it. There it is. I did this with Chop. Where is it? Come here, Chop. See, I did this with Chop, and I took him out of one of the images, one of the Rockstar images. I don't know which one it is. Let me see if I can find it. Videos, titles, in isolation, titles, GDA, backgrounds. Where's the one with Chop? Where's the one with Chop? Where's the one with Chop? It's in there somewhere. I don't know. I can't remember. But it's fucking in there somewhere. Doesn't matter. Yeah, but that's how I took this out. I just carefully erased out everything. You can see I took part of his foot off here. I was actually showing my mate how to do this, so I've never used this. But that's how you would do it. You would just very carefully just go through and just remove everything except the background, and then you just get rid of everything else. That's how you do it. And you could just get it very nice. But so that doesn't matter. So that's how you would do it. Put it all back. Go away. Bring it back. Bring it back. That's it. And that's pretty much all you need to know on how to do pretty much everything. There are a heap of tutorials out there that will show you how to do just about everything you could possibly want to do. You can duplicate images, you can scale them, you can mode them, you can transform them, you can flatten the images. Like if you get a layer like here, you can go flatten and that gets rid of the layers. Like when you've got a big set of layers there that are all built up, that you've been building up, and you finally finish the whole thing, then you can flatten it. But don't do that unless you've saved it. Make sure you save your original file, export it, and that will flatten it. Don't flatten it, because you can end up losing all that work that you've just done. So just don't use that one. That's so there you go. That should solve most of your imaging problems, and if you've got any desires in imaging, then you can do that. It's a free program. It does just about everything you want, and anything you want to know, there's tutorials on for just about everything. But you know a fair bit of stuff about this shit anyway, Wiz, so you can do that. And the same as anybody else, if you just go get the program. And this gives you a basic introduction to GIMP. I hope you enjoyed that, and you have a bloody great day. I'll see you later. Bye!